What up, everybody?
Hello.
Up live on a Thursday, Lisa?
Is it Thursday? I literally have no idea what day it is anymore.
I don't know what day it is. Let's just say it's April day. It's April. It's been a long get fast week leading up to Thursday. We haven't gone live, but today's a special one. Today's one that we've planned for. So I'm not going to delay too much, but I do want to mention, you see, we have somewhat of a new setup real quick. We got a Quant, the logo for a Quant right there. What is a Quant? Go to aquant.io. Check them out. It's all about data, and there's a lot more to it than that. But they're a big platinum sponsor for us at FEDCon. So shout out to Courtney, Sydney, and everybody at a Quant. Much appreciated. We appreciate the support, the love that you're giving. And so excited to see you guys at FEDCon. Now, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to delay this. We're going to get this conversation
all the viewers
started.
Are here. We got viewers. Hello,
people are piling in. So we're going to be introducing author, international speaker, founder, and lead consultant at the Culture of Good, one of the keynote speakers at FedCon that you're going to get to meet if you're coming. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Ryan McCarty.
What's up?
What is going on?
Oh, I'm doing great. I just can't wait for FedCon, man. I've been building up for this. We've been talking for months, and it feels like years, honestly, since we started talking. I'm ready for it. I am fired up for sure.
Yes. Yeah, it does. It seems like forever ago that we started talking. It's like, man, but time is flying. But yet, when you look back, it's like, Jesus, everything has been just building up. And but let's talk. I want to talk a little bit about you. Let's let everybody know a little bit more about Ryan McCarty, who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
Yeah. So, who am I? That's a deep question, bro. To start off with, I'm first really, I'm really into my family. I've been married, just celebrated 25 years. We have two daughters. They're 29 and 25. Yeah.
I don't want to cut you off, but how did you meet your wife?
So my sister and her were in a choir together at church, and my sister was like, "Yo, you got to meet Katara. She's the real deal. She's authentic. She loves people. She's gorgeous." And I was just kind of doing my thing. I was young. Actually, I was 19. I got married at 20. I married her at 19. I married her when I was 20. I met her at 19, and we just started life really early. She had a daughter that was 2 at the time. And so I was 20 years old with a 2-year-old daughter, married, starting off life. And it's just been such a crazy adventure, man. But she was introduced to me by my sister. And when I walked up and met Katara, the first thing I did is freestyle for her. And I think that's what stole her heart, man. I just gave one line, 2 or 3 lines of rap, and she was like, "All right, we need to talk."
I love that.
But really, it was a really cool experience being so young and just getting into life and learning how to have a family and be a straight up dude that is a husband and dad, for real, at 20 years old, and really pursue a sense of my place in this world. And I think that's really what defines me probably earlier in life, is trying to find my place, really trying to find where do I belong in this world? Because growing up, I had lost my bio mom to suicide when I was 6. Wow. She became schizophrenic and died from suicide. My dad was on heroin. And so, and then within a year of losing my mom, my dad got remarried and was in church and doing off drugs completely, a complete flip. And so now I'm in this new family, new world altogether. And I think it just left me in a place where I was always trying to search for where's my footing at? You know what I'm saying? In life, I had a lot of childhood trauma, and I didn't know my footing. And when I met Katara, she had been through a lot herself. She was left in a hospital as a baby by her mom. Yeah, so she had a lot of trauma, and so just the two of us coming together, it's been a wild adventure together, but it's been also beautiful because 25 years later we're still kicking it. You know what I'm saying? Like we're still like giving our best to each other and learning what that means, and messing it up sometimes along the way, and learning from that, and forgiving and giving grace. And I didn't know why I went into all that, my whole relationship, but it's been it's been a really cool ride. But that really defines me, you know, because I mean, what else are you going to build that really defines your legacy? You know, most leaders define it maybe by the business they build, or their success, or, you know, their wealth, and all that's great. But the people you get to share it with, man, you know, that's what it's really about. So, you know, for me, it's the people that I love that are around me right now, and that really love me for who I am. You know, that's really what defines me. I love to help people, teams, and organizations like find their purpose and mission, and like discover ways to take their own like story and really leverage that to make an impact in the world, you know. And that's my soul and my heart. That's the work that I do. So I'm a consultant, like you said, author, coach. I just teach people how to reconnect to what it means to be human, and discover meaning and purpose and fulfillment, you know. That's what I'm about.
And you know, hearing the story about how you and your wife came together, I like to think, and we talk about this here sometimes, that there are no coincidences in life. You know, there's a plan, and you guys met. I mean, having the same, maybe not the same exact, but having that childhood trauma and those things, you came together. I mean, that is pretty significant. Into finding your way, and as a young guy marrying, and then all of a sudden having a daughter, and having this family, and it's led you here, which, like, I want to talk about that. You know, it's led you to bringing your soul to work and talking about the culture of good. And I love all this because I want to build a culture of good. And I think I'm working on it. We've been doing it every day. Is there a long way to go? Absolutely. I don't think we'll ever have a place of where we stop, like, oh, we made it. So it's consistency. And so let's talk. I want the people to understand, because especially if they're not coming to FedCon, or if they are, understand bringing your soul to work, the vulnerability, the courage. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah. Really, when you bring your soul to work, you know that what you do every single day is connected to a higher why, a higher purpose, a sense of calling in what you do. So back in, after my dad got into church, I went into ministry. I learned a lot about what that means, like that sense of calling and purpose, and waking up with meaning. Like everything I did had some meaning behind it, right? And so many times in work, we lose that sense of meaning and purpose. And when we do, I believe we lose that sense in our own identity, because what we do is so tied into who we are. Like that's what drives us. That's right. So bringing your soul to work starts with who you are, knowing who you are. Knowing who you are then leads to knowing why you do what you do. Right. You got to really feel a certain way about yourself in terms of your place in this world, your purpose, the sense that my work can contribute toward greater good. And my work can also make a shit ton of money. But along with that, like I was saying earlier, like how do we define wealth and success? You know, well-being, mental health. You know, there's no success in running towards like wealth and losing your mental health. There's, you know, and so bringing your soul to work means you bring the fullness of everything that you are, the complexities of your character, your quirks, your passions, what drives you, what motivates you, what makes you tick, what pisses you off. If you go into work and it pisses you off that there's no leadership that looks like you, and there's no representation, you should be pissed off about that. Bring your soul to work. Like bring your soul to work. Give life your all, whatever you're going to do. Like find a way, if you don't love what you're doing, find a way to bring love into it. Like discover ways to connect what you're doing to an immediate impact that that really gives you permission to feel something about what you do besides, you know, KPIs and balance sheets and P&Ls. Like that's all the structure of business. And we know that we have to do those things and to be solvent and to make money. But I know that we can make money and also make a lot of good happen. And bringing your soul to work says, I don't have to check that at the door to be successful. If anything, the most successful people are the ones that are making money and making a difference. That's success.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. And that's, you know, one of the things that's, you know, I'm super passionate about, and, you know, and that's why I'm excited for others to, you know, because I think that for a long time, there's a lot of old school ways of thinking and old school business, you know, and I always say if my dad was still involved in the business today, we'd probably go out of business or have a lot of lawsuits, and there'd be angry people here because he's zero filter. He's the kind of guy that's like, oh, you're coming to work for me. I'm doing you a favor by giving you a job. Shut up. Go do your job.
I signed the check. My name's on your check. Yeah. That's how it was, man.
And I don't buy into that. I want this to be more than just a job, more than just a place of employment. There should be a place where you feel good every day. You want to bring your soul with you. So yeah, I think I'm excited for people to understand in this industry that, you know, it's blue collar. You know, it's the trades. You know, we're fixing food equipment, refrigeration, cooking, HVAC, food prep. You know, and I think oftentimes there's that stigma of the blue collar trades where we're just, you know, we're come in, we don't talk to me, let me fix this, and it's just not that way. You know, we need to look to the future if we really want to, because a big thing, we want to attract new talent to the trades. We have to start portraying it in the better way, and the companies, and believe me, there's a lot of wonderful companies that are on track doing this kind of thing. But I know that there's probably a lot that aren't thinking this way. So this is really a great way to start that conversation.
Well, and that's what FEDCon is about, right? Because Rich, you and the team have really started a movement, and this is what excites me, because it really, a product is a product and a service is a service. But if your product and service is just about serving you as a business owner and not about service to others, then you've lost the soul of your company. And FEDCon is about people that are like-minded, that recognize that I don't want to just have a job in life, punch a clock, get my paycheck on Friday, spend it by the end of Sunday on shit that I don't need, to impress people I probably don't even like, to go back to work on Monday. So we don't want a job, because also there's instability there. So we're trying to create a sense of like, okay, I want this to be a career. So then we start investing ourselves in it, and we're growing in the business and the industry. And, you know, everyone that's coming to FEDCon, you're growing in that industry. And the question that I have is, when will you go from not only job to career, but career to calling, to have that sense that I come to work every day and I know that my everyday work actually furthers good in the world. And that's the connection that I love helping companies and business owners make. Like, how do I make the connection that every sale doesn't just put money in my pocket or my employees' pockets? That's number one. The first rule of business is to stay in business, because if you don't stay in business, there ain't another damn rule to worry about, right? But the other side of that coin, it's a two-sided rule. The first rule, it's to stay in business, but also to know why you're in business in the first place. When you started FEDCon and you started the work that you're doing with your community and within the industry, Rich, I would imagine, and I know I'm not interviewing you, but I know you didn't just see this as a job or a career, or you wouldn't be doing what you're doing. Like, you're driven, you're passionate. People know the difference between someone who sees their work as a job or career or someone who sees it as a calling. And people who see their work as a calling attract people that want to work with them and for them, because people want that in life. And so regardless of what industry you're in, if you as a leader don't get fired up, then you're going to get fired out because there's just nothing there for you. You cannot inspire that next generation of workers to work for you if you're not inspired yourself. you pour out of what has been poured into you, and you've got to fill yourself up and get ramped up for what's ahead, because people are looking for opportunities to connect into a workplace that affords them the permission to care, to give back, to do good, to make friends at work, to really build strong relationships. And I think through the pandemic, it became obvious to most leaders that when we talk about we care about people and we care about culture, it can't be window dressing anymore. This has to be the real deal. And if you're not a real leader, you might want to step aside sooner than later, because real leaders are rising up.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. And that's again, and that's what FEDCon is too. We want to, if you're not a leader and you come there and you say, I want to be a leader, we want to build leaders. We want people
Absolutely.
we want people to be part of this. And you know what, true. Like when I started the Fed group and FEDCon and all this, you know, there's always in the back of your head, because, you know, you need to make, you know, you need cash cash is the oxygen. You need that. But we're not making any money here. I mean, and I knew I wasn't going to come in and start making all this money. It wasn't the money that was pushing me. It was, I guess you could say, it was the calling, because I want to help people. I want people to thrive. I want to find new technicians. I want new operations. I want new people to find their way into an industry that I know is so rewarding and lucrative, way beyond the pay. And the pay is great, and that's all well and good. But we help people every day.
Yeah.
There's no price tag you could put on that, you know, and that's one of the big things that we're pushing.
That's the stuff, man. That's the stuff the soul's made out of, you know? It's the part of your heart that you can't deny. Like, you can act like it's not there, but every once in a while, you know, even in some of us, like, you know, younger people, younger than myself, you know, I'm now, like, I'm 45. I'm not young anymore. You know, I still feel young. You know what I'm saying? I mean, most days I think I need both my shoulders replaced, but that's a whole nother conversation. What would you tell your younger self, Ryan? Don't try to be a bodybuilder at 12 years old.
Yep. That'll do it.
But you know, this is what it's really about, you know, is those that are coming to FedCon is like, you know, we want you to be inspired. We want you to know that your contribution matters. Like, wherever you're at, you may not be the most charismatic, outgoing, you know, person that you know in the crowd. We don't need any more of those. We need solid people that are committed to the work of what you do every single day in the industry that you're in, with the, you know, regardless of whether you're in the sales aspect of it or you're in the manufacturing of the equipment for what you do in kitchens and commercial kitchens, and or whether you're someone who's looking at getting into the business. We want to encourage you that during that time that we spend together, you're going to leave not only inspired, but you're going to be mobilized and empowered to go back to your workplace and your world and make a real impact and a difference, and build your business through that kind of heart and that kind of soul. We're not saying put business secondary. We're saying put your business first by bringing your soul to work. Like, that's putting your business first. That's putting your people first. That's really, like the word that you said earlier, Rich, you said vulnerability. That's like you really walking into a workplace as a leader and being vulnerable with your people and saying, you know what, you know, there's opportunities we haven't really taken in our community, and I'm ready to press into that, make a difference through our work. I guarantee you, the people that work for you and your clients and your vendors and your customers and everybody collectively will get behind you as you show your heartbeat to the community where you do business. Like, that's what people want to get behind. They want to get behind leaders that bring their soul to work every day, because it shows, man. Like, you know, if you look back over your life, the leaders that made the most impact in your life weren't the most wealthy, possibly. They probably didn't have the nicest car, the nicest watch. It was a teacher who cared, who went out of their way. It was a boss who, you know, took extra time on a late night to train you when it was off hours. You know, it was those kind of people, man. I mean, that's the kind of people you need in the industry to make a movement that will really set the place on fire. You know, I see that fire behind you the whole time, brother. I'm like, yeah, we're going to set the place on fire, you know?
That's it. We stay fired up here. And you know what? I'll tell you, leading from what we're just saying here, talking about finding leaders, so let me ask you this. Is there someone that was significant in your life, like a hero or a leader or somebody that inspired you or continues to inspire you?
I'll tell you what, Rich, I'm not going to give my full story because it's something I'm going to share on the stage, but yeah. I'll tell you, it was a teacher named Mrs. Parks, and I never knew she existed. And that's going to be part of the story that I share because I met her right before she passed away.
Okay.
And she was there for me when I was a little dude, man. And that for me, says everything, because some people won't remember that you were their hero. And that's part of what I want to talk about during that time is like, I had no idea, you know, and there's a lot of the good that we do in the world that no one sees, and we don't get PR for it, and no one gives a shit that we did it. But at the end of the day, it's like, when we lay our head on a pillow every single night, we get to decide what kind of person we were through that whole day. And we get to live with that. And we get to choose when we wake up the next morning, just as the sun comes up, we get to choose all over again, you know, like what kind of person do I want to be? What kind of human do I want to be for those that work for me, those that work with me, those that are in the industry, you know? And so, yeah, bring some tissues to FEDCon, because we're going to be crying together, laughing together, screaming. It's going to be great, but also we're going to go back home and have some practical stuff to live out. And that's what I really care about, you know?
Yeah. And I listen, I love that. I'm a crier. So anyone who knows, I could cry at a Optimum commercial on TV, but I mean, it's that these things touch, you know, when you talk about greatness and leadership and love and things that move you, like these things, you know, they bring tears to your eyes. And I'm looking forward to hearing more about that. And with that, talking about putting your head on your pillow at night, you know, I always say I do everything I can every day. And regardless of anything, I know I can put my head on my pillow at night and sleep well because I've done my best. And I try to do the right thing every day. Let me ask you this. When you put your head on your pillow at night, because we all have thoughts, are there any things that are keeping you up at night? What keeps you up at night?
God. Well, something that my family knows is I have about a new business idea about every hour. And I say that jokingly, but honestly, I've had family interventions multiple times that my girls and wife sat down with me and said, can we hang out without you talking about a new idea? So I have that problem, and I help people start things. I'm a fire starter, right? I love to figure out how to start things and figure out processes that can help the world get better, you know? And I've been really working, you know, what you do at Fed is like an association, and it's really a community, but can also be a movement, right? I use movement a lot, and I love being a part of movements. And I've been talking to a lot of associations, really smaller size and big size over the last several days. That's been keeping me up at night, because there's this element of engagement with members that's sometimes missing, other than like the once a year big activity or conference. And then throughout the year, there's all this opportunity I'm seeing for localized effort that I have so much expertise in. So my brain's all in this space of like, how do I take culture of good that really teaches individual companies how to do good and teach it on an association level and within a membership, and create a movement within associations of doing good where their members join that movement of doing good and then participate on a local level through the association. So it's still connected. So now you're driving that engagement. So that's keeping me up at night. Painting keeps me up at night. Enjoying a drink and a smoke every once in a while keeps me up at night.
Hey, I'm with you.
That crazy ass show on Netflix called Human Resources. I'm not a promoter of it, but that kept me up last night. That is a crazy show that's hilarious about work.
I got to check it out.
Yeah, it's wild. And so, yeah, that's my time, man. I enjoy just kind of staying up and painting and just spending time with myself, which was rare through most of my life.
Yeah.
Going back as a complete circle to this convo, when you are searching to belong in this world because of whatever you've been through, and that can happen even later in life, we're traumatized because of different things. And every person that's coming to FedCon and people that are watching right now, I know we all have trauma inside of us. For me, it was never about belonging to anything in this world other than myself. And so what keeps me up at night is spending time with myself. I really enjoy that for the first time in a long time. And that happened during the pandemic more than anything. And that was really the best thing that could have happened for me, man. So, yeah. Anyway, that's
pretty, I think, important for people to too. Because I know for myself, I know I need more time with me to take care of me so I can take care of others. And, I'll tell you, the pandemic too really kind of hit the reset for a family for me and for even some more stuff personally for myself. But I feel like I didn't see my mom enough. I didn't see my sister enough. I didn't see anybody enough because I'm like, well, listen, I got work to do. I got to do this. I got to go here. I'm flying. And maybe I'll see you on Thanksgiving and Christmas. And that really was it. But now we're planning trips for Labor Day and Memorial Day and holidays. And we got to see each other.
Yeah. Because it's not that the work doesn't matter. It's not that what you were doing every day doesn't matter. It's just in the scope of all of life. It's easy to forget what matters most. Yeah. Our work matters, man. Like making money matters, being successful matters, having nice things matters. I remember having a car that would literally, if I made a left turn, it would break down in the middle of intersections in downtown Indianapolis when I was younger. And it was like a 73 Thunderbird. It was like a tank, dude. And all the 5 lanes of traffic would sit there, and I would have to get out of that car and throw it in neutral and try to push it out of the intersection so that life could happen for all these people again. And I remember sitting in there like, I ain't going to ever drive a car like this again. Having nice things matters. It's just really, it's that talk with your head on the pillow moment that I think is powerful to our conversation today. It's that all these things do matter, but there's other things and people that do matter more. And knowing that is such a level of maturity, man, that is missed so many times. Regardless of how old you are, people many times miss that, man. And then they look back and like, you're not going to regret that you didn't go in that Saturday. You're going to regret that you didn't spend the time with the person you love. That's it, man.
Yeah.
That's true. So, yeah.
Yeah, that is true. It is true. And as we're getting older, you said you're 45. I just turned 40. And as we get older, these things really definitely start to come to mind more, and they start to become more real. And, my mom's getting older, she's 71 now. And I'm like, and she's healthy. Thank God. Everything's good. But, how many years do we have,
Right.
So we have to be conscious of those things. Like you said, like going in, we're not going to remember that Saturday we skipped, but we are going to remember that we didn't go see mom on Mother's Day. Or we should have went to see her, and these are things that are important. Finding that balance in life.
Yeah,
it's possible.
It's absolutely. It's I had a mentor tell me that the work-life balance is actually a work-life harmony when it works well, because you don't many times find a balance, and that's frustrating, right? Because there are going to be moments in business that pull you away. I remember when I was younger, having to look at Qatar and saying, because we had a kid shortly together after as well. So we have 2 daughters, and they're 4 years apart. And I remember, or 5 years apart. And I remember looking at Qatar in one season of our life, and we just weren't making it. I mean, we had a mattress on the floor. I had 2 daughters. I was barely skeeting by. and had lost my job right as we were getting married. It was just an absolute mess, you know? And I remember looking at her saying, okay, this next season of our lives, the next 6 months, I'll probably be pulled away a little bit from the family, but I'm setting a boundary with that. And this is my boundary, and I'm going to honor that and make sure that I'm at this, and this. But I just need you to know, and really communicating that was tough. So I get it. I get, you know, we can't all just, you know, go to every single baseball game, and maybe you're listening right now and you feel like shit because you just heard that. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about harmony, you know. I'm talking about if you can, like, bring your family into your work and the good that you do. And, you know, the culture of good is unique in that too, where it affords people to invite their family and their kids to go out into the community and do good together as a part of their work. And that's been a special thing for people as well. And so I think we need to look for harmony in life and really find a way to really have work support our home life, and our home life really support work, and figure out ways to do that better, you know? Yeah. The way we've been doing it just ain't working, man. I mean, like, everybody knows it. Everybody wants to spend more time with their family. Everybody knows a lot of people are wasting time at work doing stuff that they could get done at home in an hour, and they're spending 8 hours. I just feel like, you know, we can really create new ideas and reset how work is done so that we can make a tremendous impact and draw some new talent into an industry that potentially, you know, could miss out, but has an opportunity to say, all right, if you want to come with an industry that's going to be progressive and forward thinking, here's the group to join. It's Fed. And that's a way to bring that new talent in, because honestly, you're not going to find new talent. People ask me all the time, how do I find the best talent? And I'm like, you don't. They find you. The best talent is smart enough to hide until they want to find you. So make sure that whatever you're putting out there is worth joining. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's what it's about, you know? So I ramble a lot, brother. Sorry.
No. This is what I want people to hear. Your what you have going on. I mean, it's important because sometimes I'm just the only one on here babbling about stuff. So, you know, this is you're giving some really good stuff here, and there's a lot of good takeaways that's going to obviously lead into April 25th, 26th, and 27th when we get down there. But you know, he's talking about finding new talent, which is what a big piece of this component is. And you're right, because sometimes we'll say, you know, we need new technicians. I need a new technician. If you're good and you're a technician and you're great at what you do, you're working, we're not going to find you. If something happens, it's true. You're going to come knock on my door and find us. But how are you going to find me if I'm just quiet in my own little bubble? I have to get out and I have to create, you know, my consistent message and put it out there. And through this community that we have here, you know, we all have a bigger voice together. So it's pretty powerful what's happening, and you know, there's a long way to go. But man, I'm just excited, you know, to be part of where we are right now. Yeah, I'm excited because, you know, there's one of the things that I'll share at FEDCon is how to operationalize good, right? So how do you take this idea of, oh, we need to care, and you know, when I first started the culture of good, I remember the CFO of the company saying, you know, this all feels like touchy-feely stuff. You know, and then I drove down there, turnover by 20%, and saved him like 3.8 million that year. And he was like, oh, like, yeah, let's put some money into this, you know, like, let's put some effort into this. And I'm excited about how to operationalize good in a way that can create a system that can be followed very easily by companies or organizations or associations. And then help to curate those events in those moments, because one of the things that I found is like, it's really important when we do good to feel it, you know, not just go out and plant a tree and walk away and say, oh, I planted a tree. Like, you know, there are opportunities within the world to go out and really meet a need that also fills your own soul. And then what I teach is, don't forget to share that you did it. And the first thing that people say is, well, isn't that bragging? And I always say that we're not sharing it to be seen, but
like this, we should never do good to be seen, but we should always be seen doing good, because that's letting people see your heartbeat as a company. This isn't about PR. I said it earlier. This isn't about marketing. This isn't about, oh, we're going to go out and do good to get something rolling and people spend their money with us. This is about doing good in the community, because people have a good heart and they want to see people's lives get better through their work. And if you can tie, like I said earlier, if you can find the connected tissue between what you do every single day and that why, or that sense of purpose, and as an association, and as a group at Fed Group, you have the opportunity as well to be able to build that type of community and that type of good, and also show your heartbeat in a sense, so that everyone collectively, our hearts are beating at the right pace and we're all in unison together, and this movement's growing, and we can see this as a national movement. But in order for it to be a national movement, we need people to show up at FEDCon and really believe that we're a part of something that is going to make an impact and a difference in people's lives and their families' lives. And in the communities where we do business, we're going to make a difference. And in doing so, we're going to drive this thing on a national scale. But we need those local people to really stand up and say, yeah, let's do some good, man. Let's make it happen.
Yeah. It is, and it's the collective. It's the collective, and I'll end with this question, because talking about that from this community perspective and getting everybody rallying around in this community and everything, it needs to get loud, it needs to get noisy, and that's what we want to do. Because I know nationally, it's necessary. Before we met or talked, did you even know that the food equipment service industry existed? I'm just curious.
Well, I did, and
okay.
Partly because I put on really big events, and talk to a lot of the vendors in those events. Also, my cousin is in the hotel business in terms of the hospitality side of that. So yeah, but was not familiar with Fed Group or FEDCon or any of that.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that's kind of under the radar. And I've spoken in high schools and places, technical schools, and when you ask them about HVAC, they know HVAC specific, but when you talk about food equipment service, cooking equipment, working on, not one hand ever goes up on these young, and these are young kids, the 16.
Right.
So bringing awareness to these classrooms.
Yeah, I mean, so you're asking, how do we drive it to the classroom?
We want to drive it to the classroom. We want this to be, not saying that colleges, if college is for you, great, but they don't even know that this is an option. I would love for high school classrooms across the country to know that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of companies nationally, even globally, that are super passionate about putting people in positions where they can really write their own ticket, make a lot of great money, and have that balance and that harmony, because this industry allows for that. So that's one of the missions of the Fed Group.
Yeah, the central message, to the next generation has to be the language that they're speaking, right? It's like what you said earlier, like your dad led in a different style, like his methodology was different. His heart, I would guarantee that you would stand up and say he had a huge heart for people.
He did. Right? He really did. He showed it. Sometimes he showed it in funny ways, but he's there for people. He was. Yeah,
because so everybody has that. So I think at the very core of who we are as humans. Even from a young age, even if we can't maybe articulate it or understand what it means when we feel it, we are born with that sense of empathy, compassion, and heart for people. Now, some of us can grow up in scenarios where we're taught a different way and we're groomed in a way where we end up hating others because of a multitude of different reasons or whatever it is. But when you talk to kids and you ask them what they want to do or what they want to be when they grow up, prior to the influencer group and everybody wanting to be a Kardashian, it was always about wanting to serve in some way. Interesting that we talk about, oh, I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a police officer. I want to be a nurse. I want to be a teacher. Why? Because our soul when we're kids is what's leading us. We're led by our soul. We have a desire to serve. We have a desire to serve others. Over time, we grow and we mature to a place where that service many times becomes about us.
Yeah.
I think if in the service industry, right? I think in an industry where service is probably a word used quite often, even if it's not, in the same context, you have an opportunity to take what you're doing, regardless of what it is, and appeal to the human element of every single one of us that wakes up every day with a desire to mean something, to believe that this life matters for some reason or another. And like you said earlier, we got like 80 years, 90 years, maybe longer. I think if you're born today, I think they say you might grow to be 115 or something weird. Have you read that?
I've seen that somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Life is short and we have to live that way, man. And living that way means not that we're reckless with our purpose, but that every single day we recognize that, as another mentor told me when I was 16, that the need is the call. These kids growing up have needs that are different than any other generation before. And regardless of what vertical you're in, whether it's business, industry, politics, within civil leadership, whatever it is that you're leading, the next generation is only going to connect to the realities of their own values, purpose, and understanding of how the world works. And so we can stand on a mountaintop and say, this is how the world works. This is how work is supposed to look. It's 5 days a week. It's this, it's that. But if you can figure out a way within your industry to speak the language that's being spoken, then you have a conversation. It does not matter what you have in your heart if you don't know how to say it out of your mouth. You got to speak the same language. You got to connect. You've got to spend time with that generation. You got to know what makes them tick. You got to honor that. You can't condemn them and Simon Sinek them on LinkedIn and say they're all a bunch of entitled assholes that think that they deserve a trophy. Well, give them a trophy and inspire them to do some good with it. Like, I don't know why we can't, here's the deal. We can't grow up to be like that last generation. Right. We have to inspire the next generation. In order to do that, we have to be inspired. And so I'm like, look, whoever you're trying to engage with, stop talking about them and start talking to them. Engage with them. Start now, start immediately. Let's rock this out. I really can't wait, Rich. It's going to be a great time, dude.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. Your message is going to be so important to this industry, to this group of people that are ready to just explode and build and grow and learn and change, and create an impact, in each one of our little bubbles that we all live in. We can make a tremendous impact in our industry and in our world. And I'm grateful that we found you. I'm grateful that we've crossed paths. I'm grateful that you're going to be our keynote speaker at FEDCon. Just feeling super blessed. This was great.
I can't wait either. Every time I sent that picture on LinkedIn where all this kitchen supplies is behind me in the store. And everywhere I look now, I'm like, y'all are everywhere, man. Yeah. And let me tell you, like without you, people would notice. And that's a gap that's being filled, and it matters. And we're going to look for ways that it'll even matter even greater in the world and rock that culture of good with Fed Group. And the sky's not even the limit on this. I really believe that we have a unique opportunity here. So can't wait.
Absolutely. So Ryan, thank you for the time today. Thank you for all the insight. I think a lot of people are going to get a lot from this. And if you haven't got your tickets, you really want to, this is only scratching the surface.
Yeah.
Go to fedcon.com. We still have some tickets left, and we're going to be excited to see you down there. Some people are just throwing some comments.
Yes, Jason, absolutely, man. And I'm going to bring some books, and yeah, we're going to have a blast with that. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. There you go. So, yeah, I'll let you go. We'll let this one lay where it is, and I'm probably gonna go back and rewatch this so I could write some things down and get some notes. Because there's a lot of things that I want to bring. Again, the culture of good is so important to building our business. So excited, man. Cultureofgood.com.
Yep. RyanMcCarty.com. Yep. The culturegood.com is where you can find me. Follow me on LinkedIn at I think I'm McCarty Ryan. I was early at Twitter. I had Ryan McCarty. I was tweeting before anyone even knew. They were like, "Tweet? What are you talking about?" And so I got Ryan McCarty on Twitter, but it's McCarty Ryan on LinkedIn. I'd love to connect with anybody out there before the event, and while we're there, we'll have a blast, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So everyone go connect with Ryan. You know, this is about building relationships. Get to know people before you get there. It makes things so much better. Ryan, thank you again, and we'll see you at FedCon, my friend.
Awesome. See y'all there.
Thanks, brother.